You weren't born to wake up, scroll, eat garbage, and die unknown. You were born to dominate. You were born to bend the world to your will. And if you don't conquer it, someone weaker than you will. You're not tired, you're undisciplined. You're not unlucky, you're ungrateful. You're not stuck, you're just weak right now, and you've convinced yourself it's normal. That's the real pandemic. Men walking around thinking their average existence is acceptable. And I get it, the world lied to you. They fed you comfort. They told you it's okay to rest when you're exhausted, to slow down, to take care of your mental health by escaping responsibility. But here's the truth. You are not depressed, you are underworked. You are not anxious, you are untrained. You are not broken, you're simply disconnected from the fire that made men kings. And you've replaced that fire with distractions. Your dopamine's been hijacked, your purpose has been drowned in endless scrolling, cheap dopamine, junk food, and porn. You're a king starving inside a palace because you've been feeding on crumbs your whole life. That should make your blood boil. No one-handed power to the greats. Power is taken violently. It's seized by men who refuse to lie down when life kicks them. You think you're the only one suffering? You think pain is some special curse you've been given? Every great man who built an empire walked through the gates of hell with a smile on his face and purpose in his chest. They bled for what they wanted. And while you sit there refreshing your feed, they're out there sharpening their weapons, reading, building, training, becoming. You think someone's going to notice you? No one's coming. The world doesn't care about you until you force it to. That's the game. And if you don't play, if you don't move, if you don't adapt and conquer, you lose by default. But let me tell you something real, brutally real. You were built for more. I don't care what your parents told you. I don't care what your friends think. I don't care how many times you failed. Deep inside you is a version of yourself that terrifies the weak, even the weak part of you. There's a conqueror inside that wakes up every time your heart aches for something greater. But you buried him under comfort. Every time you skipped the gym, every time you avoided the hard conversation, every time you let fear dictate your action, you threw dirt on your potential. But here's the beauty of pain. It can either destroy you or resurrect you. If you're suffering right now, if you're broke, fat, lonely, heartbroken, depressed, congratulations. You've been chosen. The universe is calling you to transform. That pain is pressure. It's trying to shape you into the man you're supposed to become. But if you run from it, if you numb it, if you complain, you waste the gift. You see, men aren't forged in comfort. They're forged in war. The greatest version of you is built when you're on the edge, when everything is falling apart, when you have every reason to give up, but you don't. That's when the beast is born. Not in good times, not when you're happy, but when you're bleeding and you smile anyway. That's what makes a man untouchable. Not money, not followers, not fake validation from strangers online. What makes a man powerful is the knowledge that no matter how many times life kicks him, he always gets back up. And not just gets up, he comes back stronger, angrier, wiser, more focused. That's the energy you need. That's what you must cultivate, because life isn't fair. It never will be, but it rewards the relentless. It bows to the disciplined. It kneels to the dangerous. You want change? Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop fantasizing. Get uncomfortable. Set your alarm and get up before the sun. Push your body until it screams. Read until your brain is too tired to think. Work until the idea of rest makes you restless. You'll suffer, yes, but you'll suffer with direction. And that suffering will become your strength. You'll feel power return to your bones. You'll look in the mirror and see a man, not a boy pretending. And when that man walks into a room, people will feel it. Not because he's loud, not because he's showing off, but because he's mastered himself. And once you've mastered yourself, the world becomes yours. You are not meant to be average. No man is, but most choose it because it's easier. I'm telling you, don't. Choose war, choose responsibility, choose pain, because that's where the kings are born. That's where you separate yourself from the millions of boys chasing pleasure and never building legacy. You want the crown, then bleed for it. You want respect, then earn it. You want the world, then take it. No one else will do it for you. And if you don't rise now, someone weaker, lazier, softer than you will take what was meant to be yours. And that regret will haunt you forever. I remember sitting in a freezing apartment, no heating, no hot water, mold in the corners, mattress on the floor. My fridge had nothing in it but old eggs and a half-finished bottle of cheap water. No one cared if I lived or died, not one person. I was irrelevant to the world. And every day I woke up, there was this weight on my chest, this unbearable pressure. I didn't know where my life was going. I didn't know how to fix it. And I had no one to call, no help, no safety net. It was me against the void. And for a while, I was angry at the world. I blamed everyone, my circumstances, the economy, even God. But one morning, as I stared at that cracked ceiling, something clicked. I realized no one's coming. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. If I didn't fix my life, I was going to rot in that apartment and die forgotten. That thought scared me more than poverty ever could. It wasn't motivation that saved me. It was rage. Rage at my own weakness. Rage at being invisible. Rage at knowing deep down I could be something more, but watching myself live like a ghost. I remember pacing that apartment, freezing cold, repeating to myself, you are not meant for this. You are not meant for this. I didn't need a therapist. I didn't need a pep talk. I needed to act. So I started doing push-ups, then thousands. I had no gym, no money for equipment, just the floor and my will. I read books from old war generals, stoics, men who endured real suffering, and I realized pain is not the enemy. Weakness is. Every rep, every page, every night I stayed awake instead of wasting time. It sharpened me. I wasn't chasing comfort anymore. I was building a new identity, a man no longer owned by fear. And slowly things started changing. Not outside, inside. My chest sat higher. My voice got deeper. I looked strangers in the eye. I started saying no. The world didn't give me anything, but it began to respect me. Not because of what I had, but because of who I had become. That's the secret they never tell you. You don't get stronger by waiting for life to get easier. You get stronger by becoming a man that hard times fear. And once you flip that switch, once you see yourself rise from your own ashes, you'll never want to go back. That pain you thought would break you, it becomes your fuel. That rejection that made you cry, it becomes your armor. That betrayal that almost shattered you, it becomes your lesson. And soon, you're not scared of loss anymore because you've seen what you can become when everything is taken from you. That's where power begins. The problem with men today is they've never had to build themselves from zero. They've been cushioned, coddled, lied to, told they're perfect just as they are. That's nonsense. You're not perfect. You're untested. You haven't been thrown into fire yet. And that's why you don't trust yourself. You don't believe in your own strength because you've never been forced to discover it. That's why life hurts you so easily. You're soft, not because you're weak, but because you've never been forged. When I look back at those nights I was broken alone, I don't feel shame. I feel pride. That was my rebirth. That was the moment the old version of me died and the man I am today was born. A man who doesn't beg, a man who doesn't complain, a man who creates his own fate. Every great story has a chapter of suffering. Every warrior has a season of solitude. Every king was once a peasant with a vision so strong it kept him alive through hell. If you're struggling now, good. That means your story is beginning. That means you've been chosen for something more. The world doesn't hand greatness to the comfortable. It reveals it to the ones who endure when it would be easier to quit. I didn't become who I am by accident. I built it. Day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. You have the same option in front of you. Stay in your misery and pretend the world owes you, or step into your suffering and use it as the bricks to build your throne. The only question is, how badly do you want to be remembered? Ever wake up with that tightness in your chest? Like there's something chasing you and you don't know what it is, but you know it's getting closer? That's time. That's regret. That's the version of you that could have existed, but never will because you chose comfort over conquest. You think you got years. You think you can coast? Figure it out later, start next week, hustle when it's convenient. Let me tell you something that'll make your stomach drop. You're already behind. Right now, there's a man out there who's hungrier than you. He wakes up earlier, he sacrifices harder, he suffers with a purpose. He doesn't care how tired he is because he's possessed by the idea of winning. While you scroll, he studies. While you rest, he plans. While you hesitate, he strikes. And one day, you're going to look in the mirror and realize he became the man you were supposed to be. That's the real fear, isn't it? Not losing money, not losing women, not getting hurt. It's knowing deep down that you were built for something more, but you never did the work to earn it. You had the potential. You had the brain, the hands, the breath in your lungs, and you wasted it. You lived a life of almost committed, almost disciplined, almost great. And you'll try to justify it. It wasn't my fault. I had a hard childhood. The system's rigged. Life's unfair. Yes, life is unfair. That's the point. It's supposed to be brutal. The man who conquers is the one who adapts to it, bends it, molds it, forces it to submit. But if you wait for fair conditions, you'll rot before anything changes. Look around. The world doesn't reward the kind or the nice. It rewards the relentless. You're taught to be soft, sensitive, apologetic, and you wonder why you're invisible. No one respects a man who doesn't respect himself. No one listens to the guy begging for approval. No one follows the dude who's always questioning himself. Power doesn't come from external validation. It comes from facing your demons in silence and choosing to fight anyway. That anxiety you carry, that depression, that overthinking, that self-doubt, it all has a root. It's not genetic, it's not permanent. It's the side effect of not living the life you know you're meant to live. That pain in your soul is your potential screaming at you. And let's talk about time, because most of you act like it's infinite. You walk around like you'll live forever. You put off the gym, the business, the discipline, and what you don't understand is that every day you wait is a day stolen from the man you're supposed to become. That should scare you, because the clock doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause when you're tired or broken. It just keeps ticking. And one day you'll look back and realize you traded your legacy for cheap pleasures, meaningless distractions, and wasted chances. You'll remember the nights you stayed up for nothing, the hours you poured into nothing, the years you gave to nothing, and no one will care. Not your friends, not your parents, not the world. Only you will feel that gut-wrenching truth that you had one shot and you blew it. But listen to me very carefully. You're still breathing. That means it's not over. That means there's still a window, even if it's small. You don't need to wait for a sign. This is the sign. You don't need motivation. You need clarity. The life you want won't be built from comfort. It'll be forged in discipline and solitude and sacrifice. You have to decide that enough is enough, that you're done playing small, that you refuse to die as someone who just existed. Because the truth is, greatness isn't born, it's earned. Through hours no one sees, through pain no one understands, through battles no one applauds. You want confidence? Earn it. You want respect? Command it. You want freedom? Bleed for it. That's how men are made. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending tomorrow's the answer. Stop numbing the discomfort with distraction. Sit in the fire and let it burn the weakness out of you. Face your shame, confront your fears, get violently honest about the man you've become, and ask yourself, would you follow him? Would you trust him? Would you want to be him? If the answer is no, then get to work. No more waiting, no more excuses. You either rewrite the script now, or you die as an extra in a story you were meant to lead. You keep waiting for some magical force to come and make you disciplined. You think one day you'll wake up and suddenly feel like doing all the things you've been avoiding. That day doesn't come. Discipline isn't a gift, it's a demand. It's built when you force yourself to act, even when every part of your body screams to take it easy. And let me break it to you. It'll never feel convenient. You think champions train because they're excited? You think killers wake up loving every second of the grind? No. They act because they've decided that their purpose outweighs their comfort. Weak men live on feelings. Strong men live on principles. And your problem is you keep choosing what feels good instead of what's right. Every time you choose comfort, you kill a piece of your potential. That soft bed in the morning, that extra scroll through your feed, that bite of food you didn't need, these aren't small things. These are the chains that slowly wrap around your ambition and strangle it. People think failure comes from some big crash. No, failure creeps. It's the silent enemy. It's born in your daily decisions. Every I'll do it later is a brick in the prison you're building around your own life. You want freedom? Then you have to earn it. You want peace? Win the war first. Nothing good comes to the man who avoids pain. The pain is the currency. Pay the price or stay broke. Mentally, spiritually, financially, forever. And let me be clear, your pain isn't unique. Everyone suffers. The difference is what you do with it. Weak men use pain as an excuse to break. Real men use pain as the reason they must break through. That heartbreak, that failure, that humiliation. It's either the thing that buries you or the thing that builds you. You're not cursed. You're not doomed. You're just untrained. You haven't hardened yourself. You haven't built the internal armor needed to face this world like a soldier. And while you wait for some savior to lift you, other men are out here lifting themselves through fire and steel, turning their suffering into power. They're not crying about the world being unfair. They're becoming so lethal that the world has no choice but to respect them. You want to feel proud of yourself? Earn it. There's no shortcut to self-respect. You can't trick yourself into confidence. That's why most of you stay quiet in a room full of alphas. You know you haven't earned your place. You feel it. That shame, that hesitation, that internal whisper telling you you're a fraud. The only way to kill that feeling is to become undeniable. You need to grind in the shadows until your presence commands silence, until the room feels different when you walk in, until no one has to ask who the leader is. And that doesn't come from pretending. That comes from becoming. You've been lied to your entire life. They told you that being nice is enough, that being safe is smart, that chasing stability is the goal. And now look at you. Safe, broke, invisible. You're not meant for a life of quiet desperation. You're meant to rise, to lead, to dominate your lane so aggressively that the world has no choice but to make room for you. But that only happens when you flip the switch and start living like a man possessed. Every second matters. Every move counts. You don't have time to waste. You don't have room to drift. You're either building the life you want or waiting for someone else to do it for you. And here's the truth most won't tell you. You already know what needs to be done. You know you need to wake up earlier. You know you need to train, work, study, sacrifice. You don't lack information, you lack execution. You've got enough knowledge in your head to change your life 10 times over, but you don't act on it. Why? Because you're still a slave to your emotions. You still treat yourself like a child who needs to be in the mood to work. That mindset will destroy you. The most dangerous man is the one who acts without needing to feel ready. The one who executes no matter what. The one who shows up with fire in his eyes, even on the darkest days. That man wins. That man becomes legend. That man rewrites his bloodline. You think legacy is built in good times? No, it's built when everything feels like it's falling apart and you still show up. It's built when you feel like quitting, but you bite down and push harder. It's built when your muscles burn, your mind screams, your soul shakes, and you say, good, this is where I become unbreakable. That's the moment most men run from. But if you face it, if you lean into it, you become someone you never imagined. A man with power in his words, fire in his presence, purpose in every breath. You stop living like a leaf in the wind and start moving like a force of nature. The life you want isn't given, it's taken. With blood, sweat, and relentless will. You either rise now or rot slowly. There is no middle ground. This is the moment, right now. You don't get another lifetime. You don't get to reset this reality like a game. Everything you've wasted until this point, it's gone. The years spent procrastinating, the energy lost chasing distractions, the nights you convinced yourself tomorrow is enough, it's over. But what isn't gone is this second. What isn't dead is the fire inside you that's been screaming to be unleashed, but you buried it under comfort and fear and weakness. It's time to resurrect the beast. And not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because if you don't act in this moment, then what the hell are you even waiting for? Some divine sign? This is it. This voice, this reality check, this slap in the soul. This is the sign. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were not born to be forgettable. Look around you. Millions of men are sleepwalking through life. They've accepted defeat before they ever took a swing. And you're sitting here on the edge, knowing deep down that you're different, that you were meant for more. You feel it every time you look in the mirror and something stares back that knows it hasn't even scratched the surface of what it could become. That frustration in your gut, that emptiness you can't explain. That's the universe reminding you that you're wasting potential. You've been gifted life, strength, opportunity. And what have you done with it? Just survived, just existed. That's not enough. That will never be enough. You want a better life? Then you need to make yourself better first. Stop begging for external change when your internal world is a mess. No more complaining, no more blaming, no more whining about how things are hard. Of course they're hard. That's the point. Growth isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to tear you apart and rebuild you stronger. And the man you're capable of becoming is buried under every excuse you've ever made. So kill the excuses, burn the list, wipe your mind clean and replace it with a vow. I will never betray myself again. That means no skipping the work, no negotiating with weakness, no entertaining thoughts of failure. Only forward, only fire, only domination. And I want you to understand something. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no guru, no online coach is going to do the reps for you. I can scream at you, I can hand you the truth wrapped in gold, but if you don't act, you stay exactly where you are. The world doesn't reward thought, it rewards execution. You can think like a king, but if you act like a coward, you'll live like one. It's action that changes lives. Action that rewrites destinies. Action that separates legends from statistics. You don't need more motivation, you need momentum. And that only starts when you stop being a spectator and start being a savage. You're breathing right now. Do you understand how rare that is? You're alive. You're mobile. You have a functioning brain, a body that can move, a spirit that hasn't been completely extinguished, and yet you act like you're already dead. You move like you've got eternity, but you don't. The clock's been ticking since the day you were born, and every second you waste is a step closer to the grave. That's not morbid, that's power. Because when you accept that you're running out of time, you finally stop wasting it. You finally start fighting for every moment like it matters, because it does. It always did. It's life. It doesn't owe you anything. You owe it everything. You owe the world the best version of yourself. You owe the ones who believed in you proof that they were right. You owe the ones who doubted you the silence of your success. You owe your younger self revenge for every dream that got buried by fear. You owe your future self the satisfaction of becoming everything you were meant to be. And if you don't pay that debt, no one will. No legacy gets built by accident. No empires rise out of apathy. You have to take the hammer and start building with your own hands. Every single day, without rest, without mercy. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your life right now, not the filtered version, not the fantasy, the real one. Look at your body, your bank account, your habits, your mindset. Are you proud? Are you really proud of what you've done with your time so far? If the answer is no, then good. That's your starting point. From now on, every decision you make, every word you speak, every hour you live, it all needs to reflect the man you're becoming. Not the man you were, not the man who settled, but the warrior who decided he will not waste one more breath. This is where you stop surviving and start leading, start building, start dominating. Your life changes the second you change. Not when it's easy, not when it's perfect, not when it feels right. Now. The man you want to be is already inside you, starving, screaming, clawing his way to the surface. Feed him, free him. Because if not you, then who? If not now, then when?